As you know, I'm a CPA, so I wasn't always a CPA. I was actually in banking prior to being a CPA. Made a career change in 2018, and then I got my CPA in 2019. I wasn't an accounting major. I actually I had a master's degree and still had to go back for additional accounting classes. And then I actually got my CPA while I had two young children, so it was a very difficult time for me. But
Yeah.
it's been a great decision for me, financially and just for my family in general. So it's actually been almost 10 years at this point. In October, it'll be 10 years. So I joined a networking group local to Alamucci and Independence and Great Meadows in that area. And Virginia Green, who's the mortgage loan officer there, she was the mortgage person in our group, and she's been the mortgage person the whole time. Um, my first time actually doing business myself with Virginia, where it was me, was I refinanced. I think it was 2016 with my second house, where rates had gotten very low. I had refinanced with First Hope. It was a really good experience. Additionally, I had referred my family. So my middle brother lives up in Massachusetts. He was doing a renovation on his house. First Hope was able to do a loan for him based off of the future appraised value. So it worked out great for him. We I've owned now, I'm on my third house. I hope this is the last one, at least for a while. But when we moved, I used First Hope again. Virginia assisted me with the loan. She's fantastic. Even having been in banking, I had general loan knowledge, but she really was able to educate me on what was going to be beneficial for me, what was beneficial for my family. So she's now done, I think, two or three loans for me. She's done a loan for my middle brother, a loan for my oldest brother, and then also I've referred a ton of clients to her. So in what I do for a living, part of the value I provide, in addition to the services that you would expect from an accountant, is being able to refer other professionals that can help them. On the banking side, I've gotten more experience as I've taken on a lot more business clients, and especially ones that are local to the footprint. Many of them have First Hope accounts. What's been better for me now has been the upgrade to online banking, that the investment that's been made over at First Hope is their online banking now rivals that of the larger banks. One of the big things in my profession is people who don't file for several years, and if they're business owners, how far back can I go? First Hope allows us to go back multiple years, do a QuickBooks download. The other thing is being able to see the deposit offsets. So if it's a client that they need us to actually match invoices for them, I can now refer First Hope as a provider because I can go in and see the deposits and things of that nature. So it's been twofold, but it's been 10 years since I've known Virginia. So it started off on the loan side, and now it's really morphed into really where I will refer my customers over that need banking. So when my first home loan, I worked at Bank of America at the time, right? So as an employee, I got some sort of discount, but the process was terrible. Like it really was. It was just awful, and you would have thought as an employee it would have been better. So when I went and dealt with a smaller provider like First Hope, the connection and how close the loan officers' relationships are with the underwriters, that makes a big difference when you're getting a loan, because the loan officer is really able to speak about you to the underwriter. It's also a lot easier, the loan processors that are asking you for stuff, you can call and talk to these people. So for me, that was the biggest aha, where it was really just a lot easier, the process. And listen, I can get you any piece of financial information you need about me in about 5 seconds, right? That's never the issue. It's just a matter of like, is there somebody that will cleanly tell me what they need, how I can get it to them? And then if I have a question or if they have a question, how quickly can we go back and forth? And I found that was just super beneficial. And it's been the same with clients of mine that have business loans with First Hope, where it's been the same thing, where I'm like, I can even say to the client will say to them, hey, can you just deal with my accountant? I deal directly with the processor. A lot of times that's much easier if you're dealing with me versus the client, because for most clients, I can get you their financial information faster than they can. So that for me has been the biggest thing, is just somebody that's local. I literally one time went to like the Sparta branch and we had paper for somebody, and I was able to just drop off the paper and like, here it is. The other thing was during the PPP loan process, I dealt with the loan processors over there a lot, and I dealt with probably 20 different banks for PPP loans. The locality there was super important, where we had a local person that was making these decisions, and a local person that would come to me directly and say, all right, send it here, send it there. That was a huge benefit. And with the landscape of politics and all these different things going on, you never know what's going to happen in the loan landscape, whether it be, government loans, government grants, things of that nature. So you never know when you're going to need to lean on a local bank. And I can tell you, having dealt with the more regional and larger banks, the processes, you were just trying to get a hold of somebody and couldn't, versus here's a name and phone number of somebody you could actually talk to. When we got to the forgiveness section, though, that was really where things got kind of brutal. And I literally had to email the CEO directly at B of A over something they were doing to one of my clients. And I did get it rectified, but it took that going on. I didn't have any of that sort of experience with First Hope. It was kind of easy. So the less amount of time I was spending because of the better service, that also benefited the client from that aspect as well. So I think there's like, it's funny because clients will come to me for multiple different things, right? There'll be the straight up banking. And when it comes to that aspect, right, I'm most concerned with what type of access do I need to do their work. The other side is the lending side. So business owners have a lot of lending needs. Obviously, the more fledgling businesses, in all banks, it's going to be a more stringent lending process. But when you've got banks that have now been, or clients that have been established for a while, who is going to be making local loan decisions? Where you're not dealing with somebody in California. To me, that's a real game changer because you can get a more local lending decision. Plus, at the regional level, what you've seen is a lot of buyouts, right, where they're gobbling up all these smaller banks, and there's a lot of disorganization when that happens. So for First Hope, the way I'm able to refer them is the local lending decisions, the banking itself. And then on the personal side, if you need a mortgage, it's a local mortgage person. And my experience has always been very good. But it's also because I've done the loan process at other places. So I mean, customer service is one of the biggest things. Many different online bankings are kind of apples to apples, right? In a lot of cases, there's some of the really small banks that maybe it's not as good, but in general, they're apples to apples. So if it's apples to apples, it comes down to also what's the fee structure, right? Some business owners are going to need maybe a account that doesn't require 20 grand to be in it. So there's also there's that aspect of it. The other aspect of it is if you ever have a problem, right? Something happens, you accidentally overdraw your account. I mean, whatever it might be. Is there a local place that you can go that's going to sit there, talk to you, work with you? That's the difference. You can go to Chase and Bank of America and these bigger banks, and which is fine. They're going to listen. Technologically, they're going to be very good, but again, we're going with apples to apples a lot of cases now between the ATMs and the online and all that. But the difference is going to be if you have an issue or if you need something. If you need a loan, good luck. You don't fit into the exact little category that you want. Plus, you take one of the larger banks, somebody like us, like a company like this. Let's say we have several $100,000 at a Chase. We are nothing. Like we're just a little nothing. You go to a First Hope, you have $50,000 in your account. You're going to get treated like the customer that has $1 million in the account. So I think that makes a big difference. And if you're a small business owner that's wearing a bunch of hats, you don't want to have to worry about your banking. Like you need that to be easy. The other thing is going back to the localness is if you need to get your accountant involved, right? It's a lot easier with a smaller bank to say, hey, I need you to talk to my accountant, and make that connection than what you have to go through at a larger bank if they'll even agree to do that. So for me, that's and for the client, that's a good thing. I think it would definitely be service. I mean, when it comes down to it's that's where the differentiator is, whether it be the loan process, the banking process. It comes down to service. I also notice a lot of I'm very active with the local community myself. I'm on a board for a company that does group homes for developmentally disabled people, and I coach a lot of sports. So, companies or banks in general that are also donating and spending, and it's not just donating money, they donate their time to the localities that they're in. To me, that's also a big differentiator. And again, that all goes back to service at the end of the day, right? Whether you're serving your community, you're serving your clients, you're serving your business partners. So to me, that's the most important thing. And it's the easiest selling point at the end of the day to say to a client, listen, if you go there, you're going to get the best service.